As you meditate, bring your attention inward. Allowing the body to relax, the metabolism to slow down, and your attention to turn away from the sensory phenomena to the mind. And silently produce in the mind the I thought. Just that, I. And repeat the I to yourself. The word I or yo, or whatever I is in whatever the language you're most comfortable in and that you think in is. And focus on that thought. And just notice without languaging it what the I means. Whether it refers to the body or to consciousness. To the frame of reference. To the personality. And as you keep repeating the word I, notice how you become more detached from identifying with it. It becomes simply a signifier. To which you are not bound, to which consciousness is not bound. It is an appearance in consciousness, a representation. And now focus on the awareness that is aware of the I thought. And discern the difference between this awareness and the thought of which it is aware. And notice how the awareness contracts when it identifies with the thought and expands when it recognizes its being separate from the thought. And now allow the I thought to fall away. Allow all thought to fall away and simply focus on the awareness itself, the presence. Without representation. And just realize and be this presence. Without disturbing it by writing anything on it. Just pure awareness. Without any self-representation. And recognizing that this silent presence is the original state of consciousness before anything is written on it, before a name is given and a language in which to pronounce the word I, and any sense of the presence being linked to or a product of the body, but simply in its original natural state as the true nature of mind. You could say it's nirvanic mind. And allow yourself this opportunity to rest in the nirvanic mind without writing any thoughts on the space. But feel the qualities of the space of presence when it is free of any focus on thought. And notice that as soon as a thought comes in, which is always implicitly an I thought, an egocentric thought, the nirvanic mind seems to morph into samsaric mind. Suddenly the ego appears as its center and a narrative expands around it. Images, memories, desires, worries, future scenarios. All of that continues to burgeon in samsaric mind, but if you stay in nirvanic mind, it has no tendency to want to think. If the I thought is not there, other thoughts will not grow from it, and no narrative will sprout. Without thinking about it, just notice how calm, how serene is the nirvanic mind. Without tendencies or qualities or projections or emotions. And that you have the freedom to abide in the nirvanic mind. You have the freedom to remain in inner silence. And notice how the longer you remain in the silence of this true nature of mind, the weaker become any tendencies to disturb your own peace, until such tendencies are completely extinguished. Be aware of the energy that seems to pour into the nirvanic mind or arises within it and fills it. That the luminous presence itself is filled with power. And feel how this essence of mind feels complete. There's no neediness, there's no impulse to leave this centered state that is empty and yet full. There's nothing missing. There's no lack. And notice how peaceful it is when the silence is complete, with no I thought. How free of any anxiety or depression or oscillation. How free of any stress. And notice that this is your natural state. Observe how the organism responds to the silence. How even at an organic and a cellular level, silence pervades and disseminates the energy of peace and life. Of serenity at every level. And allow this vibrational frequency of tranquility to spread. Without thinking, without planning, without intending, there will be a spontaneous expansion and a further empowerment and a luminous sense of living consciousness. From which the prana flows into the body. And as you realize that you are the silent presence, there is no need of an I thought to represent you to yourself. And you are completely centered and whole when there is no thought. Observe how everything slows down. And allow the silence to reach that level of timelessness that is its core. And in the full acceptance of the silence, there is an implicit realization that you are bodiless, formless, and not localizable. That all the information received through the senses become appearances within the mind, not outside it. And there is no sense of otherness or duality. But all that appears is simply a modification of the silent presence. And after any thought or any noticing of sound or any image, that all fades and returns to the silence. That the silence is real and any appearance is a temporary illusion that arises and disappears, but the silent presence remains. And because this is you, you are bodiless, timeless, you have no past, there is no future, there is only the eternal present. A formless awareness in which a dream of a world appears and disappears. But you are changeless. Neither a person nor impersonal, and yet both. Without gender or age, without any objective attributes, without any outside. And give yourself permission to know that you are this true state of the nature of mind, and you can return to this awareness of who and what you are whenever you wish, and never have to leave this awareness at all. And notice that even when the samsaric mind and its frame of reference ensues, it too abides as an appearance within the nirvanic mind. It is not different. And so even in the midst of apparent activity, you remain changeless as the witness that is dreaming all into being and allowing all to fade and never disturb one's peace. And so even after the eyes open and the body becomes active, you can retain this true center, this hridayam, as the locus of your consciousness that forever abides in the imperturbable, eternal present. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.